guys!
Welcome back to Fashion Attack! Today we're here for a super cool episode because my friend just moved to a new place and we are gonna remake it from zero. This was her place before I even started to do anything. As you can see, there's so much good light. The kitchen is terribly gray and sad, but spacious, crazy good for being a Tel Aviv apartment. And the only thing that she already had inside the apartment was this couch, and so we're ready to change light, fixtures, wall, furniture. This is the first time that we do an episode together with someone else, so bear with us if we are gonna do a lot of bloopers and all this. Base. Yay! I don't even remember what we actually changed.
English is hard.
Base.
Sign up. Let's start.
The plan was to make the entire apartment with 1,000 euro, and there was so much to do. So the first important thing was to do a statement wall. Instead of using wallpaper that was super expensive, we did a mural. You can see a link over here on how to do the mural. But in any case, we wanted something super strong, warm, powerful, and cozy to make an entrance inside the apartment. I painted it with this awesome terracotta style paint and then painted over the arches so to match all the apartment.
The first thing I got was a couch because I needed where to sit. And then I got Miko.
Started that you wanted like an industrial look, and then we changed completely from there.
Yeah, so actually I wanted something like hipsterish, but like I had a lot of ideas in my mind, but it was really hard to visualize exactly how the place would look like. So I was like, okay, I would like to have this and I would like to have that, but I just can't put the whole thing together.
We ended up doing a completely different style because when I walked in, there was so much good light and energy in this place that I thought that making like more a romantic, boho, breezy look would look better for this place.
And actually this is what I had in mind. I love this place.
Sometimes we don't know what we really want, so I made her some industrial looks and added one romantic 3D, and guess which one she chose? We ended up doing also the kitchen, but that was a side note. The budget brought us to order just a few little things online that we could not build, but included so much DIY that this entire apartment was so much fun. The first chairs that we used to put on the side of the couch because, as I told you, she didn't want anything in the middle of the room, and then this super earthy carpet from IKEA. I'm gonna leave you all the links down below. And then I couldn't find any stool that was white and not in plastic, so I ended up buying these two little stools that are in wood, sand off all the surface and covered them in white 2 times, and the result is perfect. One super cool and cheap solution for everything is just buying wood and cutting it into pieces. We made so much out of this simple one piece of wood. I cut it into smaller pieces and used it as shelves, creating a tiny library on the side of the window. Spray painted the little L's, and there you go. That she moved from a smaller studio apartment
Very small
to a bigger space, and such a good feeling about having so much space to move around. So she wanted to leave this space as it is, and that's why we didn't add huge dining tables, and we wanted to find a solution to make it cozy, eating with the friends, but still leaving the open space in all the living room. Her kitchen is super spacious but has absolutely no sitting space, so what I did with the same piece of wood was cutting out more of a wavy effect on the end line to keep the same shape of the kitchen, and then extended her bar area. In this way, with her stool, she could have an extra seating place where she could have breakfast, added some silicone to connect the 2 extra sides, covered it with the same color of the kitchen top, and she has a table. For the back of the couch, I created this little trick where I made a super long wood line that would stay behind the pillows of the couch so that she could leave her private things behind without needing extra tables on the side. Time for everybody's favorite part, IKEA hacks. So I wanted such a statement piece to stay in front of the couch, but I couldn't find any table that was affordable and cool at the same time. So what I did was get the simplest, cheapest round table that I could get, and then I used a vase that was such a cheap thing to switch it with the legs of the table. She wanted something that could be a little bit higher because she works a lot from the couch, so I also added a few more wood frames under the base so that this could give an extra little bit of height. Then made 3 holes on the top of the base, put it on top of the wood, and then directly connect it to the table. You can do this exactly the same thing without the wood under it, and it would have the same awesome effect. Added a few puffs under the table that work perfect as seating for hosting guests or as an extension of your table. So you wanted an option to work from the couch, but also somewhere else, like without having a dining table or a big desk.
So actually that's interesting because I have so many working stations now because I have so many like small spaces. So I do a lot of work from the couch, to be honest. I do put like I do sit on the one of the posts and use the small table. I sometimes bring some table and you work from that one. And also, of course, I use the bar. Like when I actually need to be on meetings with my customers and stuff, then I go there, which is way more professional.
Little bonus for this apartment was to remake her kitchen. No, I don't mean remaking the kitchen, but covering it up. How does this work? This sticky paper is super easy. What you have to do first of all is unscrew all the handles that you have on your doors. Then you turn it on the other side and there's guiding lines on the back of the sticker. You cut it on the dimension that you need and then stick it on the top and then slowly press it down with something that is flat. A credit card is going to be totally good enough for a flat surface. You go all the way to the edges and push inside the sticker also to the corners. Then you open the drawer, press on the borders, and again you want to fold it till you bring a little bit of the corner inside. You do exactly the same thing over and over. You can do the same things for the drawers and for the static parts of your kitchen. You just have to every time measure, cut it out, and press it on top using your credit card. Such an easy job. Just put your favorite playlist and go over till you finish the entire kitchen. Once you are done covering all in the color that you want, what you have to add is some super cute handles. That's gonna give it so much more personality, and I chose this gold little ones that were matching the rest of the apartment and the mirrors that she had. This was the perfect finishing to such a look. One thing that I'm not good at is plants. That's why you should never give me a plant in my hands. But I touched this, just pushing it to the side, build a little macrame holder, stick it to the ceiling, and completed the look.
I've seen a little bit of the place in between the scenes while we were explaining what she was needing, what we were using, but I think we need a grand finale where we see all the place putting up together. So let's do this super TikTok swoosh effect.
Now that we have every single item, it's time for some styling. All I was doing here was place everything in the right place inside the apartment and styling it up with a few plants. Had to hang a mirror on top of the window and then went ahead hanging this super cute plant. I have to say I could not be happier of the final result, and I am totally obsessed with our tiny custom IKEA hack table and the light fixture that changed the vibe completely. Let me know in the comments down below which is your favorite piece and what you liked most about this remake, and as always, see you next time.